What's good, YouTube? We back with another video. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little tipsy because I had some shots. I'm not gonna lie. Um, Today we're gonna be reacting to six most disturbing 4chan threads. So, with today's video is something different. I know I usually react to music, but this is the type of shit that I be watching before I go to bed. So I want y'all to,
Videos and earn rewards. It's
I
a
want to open up to
win-win.
my channel and
Pi.org
let
is
y'all
a
know what
free
I be
ad
on.
blocker that not only
On November 29,
Right,
2007,
ish.
an anonymous 4chan user
This is what
uploaded
I
a
be watching
disturbing
before I go to
post with
bed.
the words, "If anyone can
Type shit.
correctly guess their own post number, I will tell you where she is buried." Eerily, the post was accompanied by an image of a teenage girl. For context, on 4chan, each thread is assigned a unique post number, which is completely random and serves as an identifier for that specific post. These kinds of posts
I'm
where the
not
OP would
familiar
reward
with
other
4chan.
users
I mean,
with
I heard
something
of
if
it,
they
but
managed to guess
I
their
don't really know
exact
how it
post
works.
number were pretty common. But the rewards themselves were rarely this dark and specific. You can probably understand how the creepy nature of this particular
looks like an
post
ID
instantly
photo.
caught the attention of so many people. It's worth mentioning that the dates and times from the screenshots shown are the archived dates and times, meaning they're not accurate. But over the following minutes after the post was made, several other users jumped in to guess their post numbers. And just 15 minutes later, a user correctly guessed theirs. After which, the OP made good on their promise and said, "Winner, here you go," and then a set of coordinates. Strangely, the coordinates pointed to a pretty random patch of trees on the side of a county road about 50 miles east of El Dorado, Kansas.
Uh-oh.
But
If I tell you, you bet not go there. That is that YT shit, if you know what I'm talking about.
as it was later revealed, there was nothing random about the location. The girl in the image in the anonymous user's post was 18-year-old Emily Sander, a Butler Community College student who had gone missing a little less than a week before the disturbing post was made.
So young.
Shockingly, the police found Sanders' partially clothed body around an hour after the coordinates were revealed at the exact coordinates provided by the user. It's important to mention that by the time the uploader revealed the coordinates on 4chan, the cops had already been investigating Emily's disappearance for a few days. And they were already zeroing in on a suspect. As the investigation had revealed, Emily had disappeared on November 23rd of that year after leaving a bar outside El Dorado with a man named Israel Mirales. According to two witnesses, Israel had bought Emily and her friends drinks at a Chinese restaurant in El Dorado before accompanying them at a bar called The Retreat.
I didn't know you could get drinks at a Chinese restaurant.
Emily was never seen alive again. Following the finding of some pretty compelling evidence of Israel's involvement in Emily's disappearance, the authorities put out a warrant for his arrest. But by then, Israel had already fled to Mexico.
Yeah,
Fortunately, due to the severity of the crimes, the cops were able to extradite him back to Kansas for interrogation. During his testimony, the suspect claimed that after they had left the bar, he and Emily had gone back to a motel room together. According to his version of the events, at one point in the night, another man had shown up at the motel room and tried to rob him, after which he allegedly left the motel alone.
Do you believe?
When he came back a few hours,
let me know in the comment section. Do y'all believe that another man came and tried? What a cover-up. But you fled to Mexico. Okay.
hours later, Sanders was supposedly dead. The story is already kind of hard to believe, especially when you factor in that after allegedly finding the lifeless victim in the room, Israel claimed that he panicked, put her body in the trunk of his car, and headed to a house where his 16-year-old pregnant girlfriend was staying in nearby Baxter Springs.
That shit don't even make sense.
Again, this was already a huge stretch, and it didn't exactly help Israel's case that investigators found a large knife and clothing with his DNA in a trash can at his girlfriend's home in Baxter Springs.
You did it, bro.
When it was more than obvious that Israel was responsible for the crime, a judge sentenced him to life in prison without parole.
My hair when I'm
As for the 4chan thread, I couldn't find any official confirmation that the post was uploaded by Israel. And it's worth mentioning that because the coordinates were revealed a little under an hour before the cops officially announced where they had found Emily, the thread could have been opened by someone on the police force who knew about the location before the public. Still, there's a very real possibility that the 4chan post was uploaded by the killer himself, adding an even more disturbing layer to an already horrific crime.
No, we don't got time for the ads, bro. Cause this is getting like deep quickly. This does look interesting.
On August 25, 2009, a 4chan user opened a thread with the title, "Look What I Found." The caption read, "So I was looting through some stuff my dad left when he died and I found this."
It's crazy that 4chan got so much, like, not even 4chan in general, but the internet got urban, like, shit going on that the normal everyday life people don't know about. It's only people like us that for whatever reason look into this shit. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
The old bastard had a live grenade. It seems kinda old, but looks okay to me. What would the random board do with it? Next to the caption was an image of the OP's hand holding what appeared to be a live grenade. For the next 15 minutes, the thread was flooded with all kinds of comments from users all around the world, with some claiming that the grenade was fake and asking the uploader for proof that it was made out of real metal and wasn't just a plastic imitation. Let me see the bottom of it. Bottom. It's plastic, lol. No plastic, dimwit, it's all metal. With this comment, the OP included an image of himself holding up a lighter to a grenade, which is obviously a horrific idea.
That's
Still, it was
stupid.
nothing compared.
That's ignorant. Just put a lighter flame to a supposal live grenade. What in your right mind would possess you to do some stupid shit like that? Not only that, it's like you're willing to jeopardize yourself because you care about what people think. You actually care about what motherfuckers think that much that you'll put your life at risk. That's how it make me feel like it's fake, because ain't no way. If that's the case, then you need to seek mental health. But
to what was coming. Disturbingly, some of the other commenters encouraged the poster to throw the grenade in the
You need
toilet,
to seek mental
saying
health.
things like, toss in
You have
toilet,
a mental
don't
health
flush,
problem.
wait for epic fountain. You would think that the OP would be able to interpret the comment as a joke, but sure enough, a few minutes later he posted another image, this time showing his hand holding the live grenade over the toilet along with the caption, should I? This is where the
Flush
story
it?
gets pretty disturbing.
I don't get it.
After posting this image, the OP suddenly went silent. Over the following minutes, other commenters jumped in to ask him what he ended up doing with the grenade, but
blew
there was no
himself the fuck
response
up.
from the OP.
He blew that
Shortly
bitch
after,
up.
a commenter uploaded a screenshot of an article that had been published by a news station in Guatemala that same day. Chillingly, the article broke the story of a 17-year-old boy named Oscar Lopez who had passed away after detonating a live grenade in the bathroom of his house. According to the article,
See? A motherfucker in Guatemala on 4chan giving a fuck about what people think so much to prove that the grenade was real that he set it off in his bathroom. What has the world come to at this point? Because I personally don't think it ever get that serious.
the boy's dad had been involved in the military at some point, which explains why it was in his home. Because of the timing, most of the commenters concluded that Oscar Lopez was the OP and immediately condemned the users who encouraged him to throw the grenade in the toilet. In the weeks following the
I bet you right there on the image, he probably, wait, I don't know how grenades work, but he probably accidentally slipped a pin, but I don't know if he already, thank you. I don't know how grenades works.
incident, several news stations from Spanish-speaking countries published the story, which brought a lot of attention to the original thread on 4chan. Over the years, the story of Oscar's grenade has been reposted all over the internet thousands of times. And it's made its way into dozens of YouTube videos covering the most disturbing incidents caused by online threads.
I wouldn't be surprised.
However, through my research, I wasn't able to find the original article or anything that would indicate that the story was real. Even after spending hours searching through online archives, I found absolutely no trace of the original article,
I mean, it
which
is from
suggests that the
Guatemala,
article could have
so
been faked. The
ain't no
only articles
telling.
I did find were the ones that were published after the incident and cited only the original, non-existent article as their source. It's also pretty suspicious that the article was allegedly published pretty
Honestly,
much within an hour of the
I'm probably not gonna finish this whole video because I gotta get on the plane tomorrow, and it is about to be 2 o'clock in the morning.
OP's last comment, which further supports the idea that the whole thing was faked. It's possible that the OP himself could have posted the photoshopped article screenshot from another account to get attention. Or that he could have made the original post and then went quiet to get a reaction from the crowd, after which another user could have jumped in to keep the story going with a fake news article. Although, it's still very possible this is real and the original article has just since been lost to time. Because the incident is over 15 years old at this point, we'll likely never know the whole truth.
I hope I ain't get that wrong.
Back in 2009, dozens of 4chan users started to bring attention to a pretty strange phenomenon that was taking place all over the internet, in which some mysterious comments about key lime pie were cropping up on countless websites, blogs, and forums everywhere online. Although the original 4chan threads in which these discussions took place have since been deleted, I was able to find some more recent Reddit threads covering the same key lime pie phenomenon. In 2016, Reddit user KeyLimeWTF uploaded a long post about his or her investigation into the whole thing, and it read, "So I'm just gonna throw this one out there since I haven't found anyone who's investigated or discussed this super weird, almost nonsensical mystery. To begin, I was reading a story in my local college newspaper. In fact, it was the most read article on the site. There were 3 comments on the story itself, and one of them seemed utterly strange. There's an absurd amount of references to pop culture names as well as some political names. But the subject of every line relates back to, more often than not, these things. Mrs. Anita Pelaez, Captain Coochie Pelaez, Key Lime Pie, some Coochie's restaurant.
Captain Coochie.
North Carolina near the Biltmore Estate, Key West, Florida. And not every post is exactly the same, but some are. Some reference weird pop culture icons, while some just seem to be weird out-of-place pie recipes. The oldest post we found was from 2009, with the most recent being an awful TMZ story. Super weird, but if you were to Google or research those names associated with key lime pie, what you would discover is that this has been posted all over US media sites. A couple of things here that we discovered down the rabbit hole. Coochie's Key West Bar and Grill existed in one way or another.
Okay.
It's listed on local eatery websites and Google Maps, but there's really no information as to what exactly it was. The majority of the posts we found were done by a Jake Carson, a fake name, or by celebrity/political figures. Nothing totally makes sense, yet everything is related. Also, who would go through this much trouble for something as ridiculous as key lime pie for a restaurant that isn't real? I found that pretty much everything the OP was talking about in their post was perfectly true. There are indeed thousands upon thousands of strange comments and reviews about Captain Coochie's key lime pies on countless random websites. And a lot of these comments have appeared on sites that have absolutely nothing to do with pie, such as this extremely long and somewhat inappropriate comment that was posted on a memorial site for a woman from San Jose who passed away at 74. As I also found, a lot of these comments are posted in articles and blogs revolving around suggestive content, such as this other one that appears in an article about a dating show. It reads, "That Captain Coochie Pelaez of Cucharidaville over in Asheville, North Carolina, sure enough is one wild and crazy guy. All the women are so wild about him and his famous cheeseburgers and key lime pies." But even though these comments are definitely weird, these are just 2 of thousands of accounts that have been created to post these comments everywhere online. As you might have noticed, the phrasing of these rants seem to follow a bit of a pattern. In pretty much all of the comments, almost all the words have been capitalized where they shouldn't be, and the poster always signs off in the same way, with 3 dots after the last word, followed by a fake name. I found that these comments have also been made on random Facebook posts. As you might have guessed, a bunch of people over the years have reached out to these Facebook accounts, and the responses they've gotten have been pretty disturbing, as you can see in this 2016 Reddit thread. The post reads, "I decided to send Coochie Pelaez a message and ask him when the world can know who Captain Coochie is. I didn't expect a reply, but roughly a month later Coochie replied, 'There's just no medicine like an all-natural key lime pie made from scratch.' Plus a bunch of other garbled nonsense about key lime pie. After a little bit of back and forth, the user asked Captain Coochie for the address of the restaurant, and this was the response they got. 'Close your eyes, let your ears listen to the radio. Do you hear my voice? Can you hear your own soul scream? Let me choose. My voice that predicts the future or your tormented reach. What do you choose? You can choose. Your life, your future. As smart as you are, you may have already found out that the radio drama from 75 years ago was the truth. They are on our planet, and
Radio
they
drama?
watch and see everything. Don't
Aliens?
trust anyone. Don't trust the police.
Angels?
They are already
Gods?
controlled by them. And a few more lines of paranoid ranting. Strangely, the original message was sent in Swedish, which is the Reddit user's native language. What makes this disturbing is that there was nothing on the user's profile indicating that their first language was Swedish, which indicates that Captain Kuchi could have stalked the user.
That's
And
wild.
eerily, this wasn't the only time this happened. Whenever people reached out to these accounts to ask for information about the key lime pie phenomenon, they would often receive strange responses with very specific information about
thought
their
I
lives
dropped
that
the,
the key lime pie people had no reason to know.
The cherry to the blunt.
The rabbit hole in this mystery goes pretty deep, but some
We
things
got time
have
for
been
that.
confirmed to be true. For example, as mentioned in the
Ashtray
Key
right
Lime
here.
WTF's Reddit
Don't miss
post,
it.
Kuchi's Key West Bar and Grill was a real place in Asheville, North Carolina. According to dozens of Reddit users, the original owners were Oswald C. Pelaez, aka Kuchi, and his wife Anita Pelaez. But interestingly, even though the random comments and reviews are almost all about pie, the restaurant was actually known for its burgers. Still, despite this information, it's hard to understand where the connection is between the restaurant and the 15-year-long campaign to flood the internet with strange reviews about their key lime pies. Over the years, this has led thousands of people all over the internet to come up with all kinds of theories to explain the phenomenon. The first theory is that all the comments and reviews are coming from a single poster. Technically, this is a possibility. I mean, it's not uncommon for people with extreme obsessive personalities to become fixated on something as random as key lime pie and dedicate years to spreading bizarre content across the internet. However, the sheer volume of posts, accounts, and languages involved makes this kind of hard to believe. If you think about it, this would require the poster to individually open and verify thousands and thousands
I
of
wonder if I can
sub-accounts,
start a
which would
fake
require a
rabbit
ton
hole.
of different email addresses
I
and
should
more
try
time
it.
than we
I
can
think
imagine.
I got
This
the
is why a
brains to
lot
start
of
a
people
fake
have
rabbit
suggested
hole.
that all of these comments could be
Because this
coming
seems
from
like
a
some
bot.
bullshit.
The fact that all the comments are written in a similar style makes this a possibility, but there's one major caveat
Nigga, this all the
here.
same person.
Over the past couple of decades, Google has really cracked down on bot accounts, making it increasingly difficult for random bots to open
It's
accounts
not
and
a bot
post
account.
comments
That's the
on
same
random blogs
motherfucker
and
made a lot
sites.
of accounts.
And sure,
Just
this
saying
could be a
shit.
pretty advanced bot that's been updated over the years to beat Google's security measures, but there's really very little motive for anyone to take the time to design something like this. So, in the absence of a solid explanation, some
They're
slightly more
they're doing
disturbing
it.
theories have been proposed by the online community. According to one of the most popular ones, these comments could be a coded method of communication for some sort of cult or underground organization with nefarious purposes. This could explain the endless, seemingly random pop culture references and indecipherable strings of garbled text with random capitalization. I also found some Reddit comments where the users alleged that Kuchi's Key West Bar and Grill was being used as a cover-up for something more sinister. For example, in 2017, a user posted a comment saying, "I grew up in Arden and drove by it nearly every day of my life and never once saw more than one car there. When I reached my 20s, I assumed
That's
it was a
like,
money laundering operation or something similar.
It's this place
A
in San
friend of mine
Antonio.
actually
It's a
ate
fish
there
place.
once many years ago. If I recall correctly, it was empty and
Forgot
the
what it's
food was
called.
unremarkable. It had never occurred to me to do the same." This is honestly just one of those mysteries that you could make an entire documentary series about and you'd still barely be scratching the surface. To this day, nobody really knows where all these comments are coming from, who's posting them, and why or even how many people are involved in this whole campaign. And considering how deep the rabbit hole goes with this one, we can safely assume that it'll probably stay that way for a long time.
Would you be interested in collecting 5-figure paychecks for a few hours of work, helping me in your spare time from home? I'm an
No, sir. But I think that's where I'm gonna have to go ahead and end this video. Because like I said, I gotta get up early in the morning to catch a flight. I appreciate y'all for tapping in and watching this video. Yes, my nose got itchy. I wasn't digging in my nose. Ho ass nigga. Don't try to play me. I'm just playing with y'all. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe. Be prepared for the next video. We're doing the Vegas vlog. Stay tuned. It's gonna come out probably after this video, or it's gonna be one more reaction, then the Vegas vlog. But of course you're gonna know. Matter of fact, turn on the post notifications. And this is my first time saying that, so go ahead and do it for you.